Jackalope Tales, Urban Legends in Music, where we uncover, is it real or is that a jackalope tale? I'm your host, Charles Mooney.
And I'm Lisa Umbarger. And Charles and I are former members of the Toadies, and now we're podcasting.
Here we are, and I tell you, we touch on some weird stuff, don't we?
Showing up, talking shit.
Shit that we're like, damn,
Yeah,
we gotta get this figured out.
Right.
So, and today, well, the episode is called Tops and Lobotomies.
Yes. So, oddly enough, we're going to focus on lobotomies.
Yeah. Well, this all came about from the little thing where it's on our podcast, where it's listed to play it. You can send us a text message.
Right.
I'll need to look up the name of the person that sent it, but they sent me a question of, have you ever heard about the lead singer of Reagan Youth?
Right.
And I read the story and I was like, holy hell, this is going to be good.
We have to do a lobotomy.
Yes, a lobotomy episode. So now, in thinking about crazy and kind of
little nuts.
Yeah, the ideas that we had as kids.
Yeah.
Of like the things we thought were real or true.
Thank God I haven't had any adult episodes of things really not being there, and I have pretty good mental health.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. But when I was a kid, some of the things I thought was kind of Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh no. There's some things that you really it is so far out there. You're like, how the hell did I even think that to begin with?
Right.
But I think I remember you saying that it was because of your dad, especially.
Oh Lord.
That you had one.
Yes. So, my dad used to joke around with me, and this is probably why we have Jackalope Tales now, because my dad would fuck around and tell stories. And I remember one night we were watching Planet of the Apes on TV.
Yeah.
The one with Charlton Heston.
Oh, the movie. So not the series.
No, not the series. The movie.
Yeah.
With Charlton Heston. And I was disturbed at the end of it. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so is this real? And I was having trouble as a kid distinguishing what is a historical or biographical movie and what is totally fantasy made up.
Yeah.
I could not tell the difference sometimes as a kid.
Right.
And my dad's like, oh yeah, that totally happened. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where the Statue of Liberty was just rebuilt. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, well, how do we jerk the wheel back from the monkeys? And he was like, oh, it was bloody battles. Ask your grandpa. God. He was in the wars. I was like, oh shit. And so
I love how he fucked with you.
Totally fucked with me. And I remember being in school. I don't know how old I was little, but being in school and in history. And I was like, when are we going to get to the Planet of the Apes part? And they're like, what? And I was like, the Planet of the Apes, where the apes took down the Statue of Liberty and we had to rebuild it. And my grandpa was in the war and fought the monkeys. And
there was no north and south. It was
my parents got a call.
No, did they really?
Yeah, they got a phone call. And my dad had to sit me down. My mom was pissed.
Oh,
my mom was pissed. She was like, you quit telling her those lies. And and my dad had to sit me down and go, it was a movie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, God damn it. Because in my little head, that history of the monkeys was far more alive and entertaining than the real history of
God,
the
it
United
is.
States.
I mean, I think the books need to be rewritten.
I know,
to include monkeys.
And think about this. We talked about this before. We were inundated as little kids with monkeys doing stuff.
Yeah,
with the live action monkeys and
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I really did think monkeys were capable of being mean to us. I was always very nice to monkeys.
They are still strangely human, so I'm always prepared for a takeover.
Right, that's why you're always kind to monkeys.
I mean, they got thumbs. We're fucked.
Right. They don't wear pants.
Yeah.
They don't wear pants. They will poop on a dime and throw it at you.
It's a great technique.
None of us are throwing poo.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh,
that will get me off.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm done with
my parents were not like your dad.
No way.
No, but what happened with me was, I mean, I could have been probably 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
And back in that day, we had to work for our nudity. I mean, pornography. I mean, yeah, I mean,
like your parents put you out on the streets?
No. See, kids nowadays, sadly, they can pull up anything on the internet.
True.
And see porn and all that stuff. Back then, we had to work for it because it wasn't that readily available to us.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yes, it was harder to get.
And our neighbor back at the house when I was a kid, this real weird old guy, they were having a garage sale.
Oh, no.
And he had his porn magazines out
for the garage sale.
For the garage sale.
What the hell?
And
the pages were stuck together. Those are used.
Oh, they had been used, but it was a stack. It was a stack. And I remember clearly he was selling them for $0.10 a piece. And we happened to just be going over to the garage sale, a bunch of us kids, and we saw those and we're like, oh my God, this is gold. So we scrounged up $0.10. Now, what happened though is that it was later in the day, you know, when the garage sales are winding down, and the one person that was outside, it may have been the wife. She went inside and I ran over, grabbed the copy off the top of the stack, put $0.10 on the top of the stack, and we took off. So,
you're honest.
I paid $0.10. So now the bad thing is that there should be levels of porn that you are allowed to take in a certain order. So it's like
don't just
when you're
right
young,
to anal.
No, it's like when you're looking at porn for the first time, it should be a Playboy. Then the next step would be like Penthouse. The next step would be like Hustler. Because if you go right to a Hustler, then you're going to be a serial killer. I mean, you're going to have a fucked up life.
Oh, no. Which one did you get?
Ours was Penthouse. And so there was this little area between the fence where it was kind of our hangout. And I had this Penthouse magazine, and we were all looking at it. And I got to the Penthouse forum.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And I mean, 40 something years later, I remember this to the just in detail, but it was a guy had written in about doing some cunnilingus. Mm-hmm. So basically he was yodeling in her canyon. And
did they describe it where you understood it as a child?
Not well. You kind of are like, really? You can lick down there?
Right.
And
you look where you pee?
But the description the guy had was like, I swear to you, my mind may have warped it, but there were like this sugar, warm goodness that he almost like a wormy kind of thing that he ate, and it made his stomach feel real good. And
what?
And yeah, so
she's got gummy worms down there.
Well, so that's what happened. I'm now thinking every woman's yawning donkey has sugar worms in it, and it's like you get this good feeling. So I went around for the longest time thinking they were like little sugar gummy worms.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So. But that was the danger of going to a Penthouse before a Playboy.
So where did you hide the magazine?
Oh, it was in the dirt.
You hid it in the dirt? You buried it?
Yeah, we buried it between. There was this little area between. It was we had our backyard and then the neighbors behind us.
Right.
And we each had independent fences. And there was this little spacing. And it's like, I look at the spacing now and I'm like, you had to be a little kid to fit in there.
Right.
But that's where kind of our little clubhouse was. And we would bury it in the dirt and then come back and look at it.
Get a little messed up, right?
Well, I know.
You didn't care.
Yeah, no.
They just were already stuck together.
Yeah, because I've already learned about sugar worms and our yawning donkey. So I'm just
and then you're looking at the yawning donkey. So it was probably before everyone's was shaved, before like
hygiene. It was.
So they had some weird hygiene issues.
Oh yeah, it was. The
70s
it was
and
Tom
80s
Selleck
crazy.
Down there,
right? Yeah.
So that's what I grew up with, as thinking that. And,
when did you discover it was not so? You're talking like, well, let's see. Was it in real life or like you figured it out?
I think you just start realizing that what the fuck was that guy talking about? Right. Yeah, it just over
he was
time.
A weirdo.
So about 5 years ago, yeah, I realized I wasn't getting no gummy worms.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, everything's been deformed.
So talk about crazy. But so yeah, you want me to start on this one?
No, I want to go first because yours is the catalyst for why we're doing this.
Okay, so, fair enough. Okay.
So thank God there was not a whole lot of lobotomies done. I mean, there was a significant amount in the early 20s and 30s, I think.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States, where it was a method of, I mean, they used it for all sorts of stuff, like besides depression and malaise and real mental illnesses. They're like, you don't feel good or you're eating too much. Let's put a ice pick in your eye and hammer it into your brain.
And see, I always think of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
Where he had the lobotomy.
Yes. It's disturbing. And, most people know the Frances Farmer, the actress, her story where her mom got her a lobotomy, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, some of the people whose treatment was lobotomies should have been like, maybe they needed a hug. But they're like, well, let's try this first.
Yeah. They should have got a second opinion.
Need good love. You just need solid people in your life and maybe a hug and not have like this.
But it's true
toxic
back then.
Bullshit.
It's like, people would freak out about something like you're having a headache every week.
Right.
Let's drill into you.
Yeah. Anyway. So like the leeches, they put leeches on you when you're anemic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're anemic. Let's take some more blood out of you. Put some leeches on you. Oh, what? Let's do some cocaine about that. Remember that was the.
Oh my God. Yes. Coca-Cola and cocaine.
Right. So lobotomies are like the cocaine of for mental illness. So here we go. My story is about Dr. Rock. And I didn't want to discuss another lobotomy, but I wanted to discuss something about lobotomies.
Okay. Yeah.
So
fair enough.
In 1980, on the Dr. Demento show, he played a song that's going to go down in infamy as one of the most horribly named songs in history.
I remember his show.
Yep. And that song is, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than to have a frontal lobotomy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I remember that. It was so easy. I mean, those words together.
Yeah.
I used to sing this stupid song. The song was written by Randy Hanslick, MD. Yes, he's really a doctor.
Wow.
And he jokingly calls himself Dr. Rock.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Although that song's not really rock. But
but hey.
So the song is basically about using alcohol to deal with stuff instead of getting a frontal lobotomy. Okay. So, I mean, either way, I don't think Dr. Rock has got the right prescription for success. I don't know.
A different approach for sure.
So, it definitely skips a few alternatives in between.
Yeah.
So there's like drinking on one end of the spectrum and lobotomies on the other.
Very
and
extreme.
There's all these other things that you can do in the middle, right?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of things.
I know.
But, anyway, So, Dr. Rock had a very, very stressful job. He was a forensic pathologist.
Ooh.
So he was the guy who would go out and figure out why someone died.
Oh,
look at the bodies.
Yeah.
Actually, like study the bodies, kind of like Dexter.
Ooh.
Creepy.
You go to Dexter, I go to Quincy.
Oh, yes. Well, Quincy, he was a medical examiner, right?
Exactly.
This guy's is a forensic pathologist. So he would actually like study the science of
that is cool.
Body.
That is
and he actually testified in court.
Ooh.
And got a bunch of people put in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
Were they innocent? I don't know, because this guy's like thinks drinking's okay.
Wow.
Anyway. No, he was actually a really, really good, well-respected doctor in the community. So he saw a lot of dead people and he testified about it in court, how they died, what he suspected was their cause of death. But Dr. Rock used music as a way to handle the stress of the job.
Okay.
So he would write music.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ways that he dealt with it. It was probably more healthy than drinking.
Yeah. Or getting a lobotomy. Yeah,
right. So that's one of the things in between.
Okay.
So the lobotomy song is one of about 20 songs, more than 20 songs that he wrote.
Oh, wow.
And most of his stuff is about his work. Because he, processing.
Oh, God.
Stuff about
exposure to that?
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the other songs he wrote were Chalk Lines Around My Heart, Lonely Behind the Police Line, Danger at the Disco.
Oh, my God.
Stay away from the white van unless they're serving ice cream. Toasters and bathtubs are not best friends. So he's writing about all of these things that he's had to go and investigate.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite one. God dang it. And you should go and listen to this one because you can find this on YouTube. You left your leg in a trash bag at the bottom of the bay.
And see, I'm thinking of the sitting at the dock of the bay.
Right.
But
no, it's a leg in a trash can.
I love that. Trash bag.
Yeah. So those didn't really work for a bigger audience, like the bottle rather have a bottle in front of me.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the person that's credited for saying that is Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde. That's supposed to be a quote from her.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
It's a clever quote.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah. So evidently she might have said this.
Wow. Look at Bonnie.
Yep.
Ooh.
So he retired from music in 1983 after he got some criticism for a song that he wrote. The song is called Heads Are Rolling Down the Cary Parkway. And it's a song about a double decapitation that occurred when a driver fell asleep and drove under an 18-wheeler.
Oh, hell. Yeah.
And people really didn't like it. And he got a lot of clap back for it.
Uh-oh.
So basically it was good for his career as a doctor.
Right.
To not release some of those songs.
And here he is using it for therapy.
Right.
Oh,
but heads are rolling down the Cary Parkway. Which was one of the roads in North Carolina where I live. It's so disgusting. Anyway, so I guess the family of the two people that were decapitated.
Yeah. They don't like a song written about them.
Too, right? Say something that's not quite. I mean, you would know who that was,
right?
Because he named where it happened, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe should be more.
A little bit more ambiguous about it. Yeah,
exactly. So the good Dr. Hanslick decided to de-stress from his job by learning East Coast swing dancing. So he kind of changed his hobbies. Because he had to put it somewhere.
That's another one on as far end of the spectrum.
So he quit writing music and he started dancing. And I guess the physicality of dancing was probably good for him as well. Dr. Hanslick passed away in 2021. But his memory lives on in the top 10 worst song lists.
Oh,
and that's the story of I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than to have a frontal lobotomy.
I wonder if his dance moves included like flailing or acting like death.
Pretends to cut your throat.
It's like, here's the cut the throat move. Right. Yes.
Right. And then he just
falls to the ground and starts flopping. Oh,
Spinal
God.
bifida, death dance.
Poor guy. And he's just trying to help himself.
Right. He was trying to mentally work his way through that horrible
God, I can't
PTSD
even
of the
begin
job.
to imagine.
Right.
Yeah, all the exposure he had to all the different stuff. But
right.
no.
Go listen to Heads Are Rolling Down Cary Parkway. Because
I am.
it's actually quite.
And we're dark
stressful.
enough. We'll chuckle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Perfect for the Dr. Demento show.
It was too demented for the Dr. Demento show.
Oh, he
never played any of these songs.
Did he?
The only one that he took from Dr. Rock was The Bottle in Front of Me, because everything else was so much darker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Think about it. Trash bag leg. Come on, man.
I mean, I'm seeing it as humorous, but okay.
We're laughing now because we're so desensitized to,
that's true.
to body parts and trash bags.
I mean, if it were, someone's leg I knew, then I don't know. I don't know if that changes it, but might still be funny. So.
You know what it is. I'm just
it is. Go with it. Go with it.
All right. Now let's go to the star of the show.
And then when I was looking into Reagan Youth, I actually bought one of their albums before I even knew who they were.
Yeah.
I'd gone to, because I would make trips to VVV Records in Dallas, and sometimes you just buy things that look cool.
Yep.
And there was a Reagan Youth. It was their first one, and it was Reagan Youth Sieg Heil. And I could see the satire and everything because this was the Reagan era, the 80s. And you had, like, on the cover, there was like a Klansman in his outfit, and like there were little white crew cut kids sitting on their dad's lap, and just it was almost like Winston Smith, who did all the artwork for the Dead Kennedys.
Yes,
kind of along that line.
I remember the album cover,
and I got the album, and I mean, it was cool. It was hardcore, and it was just like, we are Reagan Youth Sieg Heil, and it was funny. I mean, but they were the kind of band, they were based in New York. They played CBGBs a ton. They would open for Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, back when the Beastie Boys were the hardcore punk. So they were really deep into the scene, and they were popular there. But of course, they'd get a lot of skinheads that would come thinking that they were a pro-Nazi kind of band.
Right. And they were anti-Nazi.
Oh, they were. They were using that as satire.
Yes, it was completely satire, and they were making fun of Reagan, and they were
because there's some YouTube videos. They have just audio of where Dave, the lead singer, Dave Rubenstein, would just mock the Nazi skinheads at the show. He'd be like, "This is for you, you fuckers."
Yeah.
So enjoy your white life and that kind of thing. But this story really goes kind of south. By the end of the 80s, I mean, they had been playing all that time. They had gone through endless touring. They had been drinking. They got into drug use. So basically, they broke up. The Reagan era ended, and they had no money.
Right.
I mean, they were just spending
What are you going to do when Reagan leaves office and you're the Reagan Youth?
I know. It's like, are you going to be the Bush Youth or
or maybe you're not youth
Carter
anymore,
Youth?
so you're like the Reagan middle-aged or young adults.
Right. Reagan. I know. Who came after Reagan? Reagan, I think it was Carter after Reagan. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, it's like the Jimmy, the Jimmy experience. But so they decided to split up, and sadly, Dave Rubenstein, the lead singer, was a major heroin addict. And that was really prevalent in the New York scene. There were so many punk lead artists who became addicted to heroin.
Yep.
And
Sid Vicious, come on, man.
Oh my God. Right? This is such, it's going to be like a Sid and Nancy kind of thing. So he has no band, he has no income, so he turns to drug dealing. So,
okay.
And then it just so happened one day a unknown assailant, maybe another drug seller, beat Rubenstein up with a baseball bat and left him in a coma.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So while unconscious at the hospital, Dave was given a lobotomy to relieve the brain trauma caused from the attack. So it was needed for medical.
Are you suffering from high-quality podcasts? You see, quality podcasts stimulate parts of your brain, leading to an irksome condition called thinking. But suffer no more, my friend. Introducing Discount Storytime's blend of fictional nonsense and rancid gibberish to provide soothing relief. Try Discount Storytime today. Available on most podcast catchers and at discountstorytime.com.
Consult your healthcare provider before listening to Discount Storytime. Not intended to treat unicyclitis, pickleball liver, or jittering expectations.
Don't they remove part of your skull to relieve the pressure? I've never heard of a lobotomy. I'm not a doctor and I don't even play it on TV, but I've never heard of a lobotomy to relieve brain pressure. I know that they remove part of your skull.
Yeah, to relieve some of that.
Yes.
I don't know.
I've had a family member who had that happen.
Really?
Yes. So they had to
take some of the skull off to allow
and they set it to the side, like on the nightstand, and then they put it back later.
Okay.
With like some, I don't know, some of those zip ties or some shit. I don't know. They are glue, super
zip
glue.
Ties sticking out.
Some super glue.
Oh God.
But yeah, so they take it and then they put the skull back on. And,
yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe this was the cheaper route to go because here's just some heroin
this
drug.
Sounds some experimental bullshit to me. I'm just saying.
I know. Well, he really, it did not affect him well. I mean, he ended up moving back in with his parents. He continued to use drugs while even they were trying to help him recover.
Wait, it seems like lobotomy would stop all of that, right?
However they did it. I mean, it was one of those where he just didn't become a vegetable, but it basically changed his whole.
Well, it changes your personality.
Yeah, the personality was very different, but I guess they didn't hit the spot with addiction. So
because they used it to quote unquote cure addiction.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
This, I guess, was just because it was for the swelling. They didn't deal with the addiction aspect. Right. That's over here. I don't know.
It's in the reptilian brain in the back. You have to drive the spike in further.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was doing drugs after
he was basically cannabis, just kind of simple drugs. But he eventually moved out of his parents' house and he moved back to the Lower East Side in New York.
Okay.
And I mean, then he was just disheveled, unenergetic, and all his friends that had associated with him basically didn't even get around him anymore because he was just that messed up. So real sad situation, but it gets worse.
Oh no.
I know. So Rubenstein began dating a lady named Tiffany Bresciani.
Is that the girl that's saying, I think we're alone now?
Well, she didn't want to be alone because she was a prostitute and she danced at strip clubs. And Bresciani supported their drug habit with the prostitution. So she's a user also.
Okay.
And Dave would often wait for Bresciani while she serviced a customer. Ugh. And then she'd come back out with the money and they'd go buy drugs. So it's so jacked up. It is it's like Sid and Nancy Mock 2.
Right. I wonder if that would have happened if his friends still hung out, because it sounds like he was trying to find somebody and Tiffany was
took care of all the best of worlds for him because was a companion and then also
the drug
provider. Yeah. And then one night in 1993, They are waiting on one of the streets in New York where she would go to be a prostitute. And a customer pulled up in a Mazda pickup truck. And
a Mazda pickup?
Yeah, Mazda pickup truck.
Okay.
So Bresciani got in the truck and told Dave that she would be back in about 20 minutes. Of course, do whatever and then come back. But she never showed up. She never came back. And so Dave ends up calling the police, reports the truck, the Mazda, the details of it. And then a few days later, 2 New York cops who are patrolling spot the truck. And after a short chase, they get the truck pulled over and they discover Bresciani's decaying body in the back of the truck.
Oh.
Now, the driver of the Mazda pickup truck was a serial killer named Joel Rifkin, who he was an infamous Long Island serial killer, and he killed at least 17 women, many of them who were prostitutes.
Oh, man.
He had a hatred for women because his mom, he hated her because she had given him up for adoption. So there's this hatred of women.
Holy cow.
So he's serial killer. And then it ain't over yet. 2 days after the discovery of Bresciani in the back of the truck, Dave's mother dies after being accidentally run over by a vehicle driven by his father.
What?
2 days after Bresciani is found dead, his mother is then killed by his father accidentally. So, depressed and alone after the loss of his girlfriend and mother, Rubenstein headed into a downward spiral, and 3 days after his mom's death, he committed suicide with an intentional drug overdose.
Oh, man.
And he was 29 years old. So
that is freaking sad.
God. I was reading that thing when the guy asked me if I had heard about this, and I knew Reagan Youth, but I did not know this at all about their lead singer.
That's horrible.
Oh.
Okay, but I have questions. There's a body decaying in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
So
covered by a tarp is what they said.
Okay, you walk past the truck, you smell a dead body.
Do you in New York?
I still think you do. I still think you smell the stink of death. And no, like his neighbor, nosy neighbor. There's nosy neighbors everywhere.
True.
And no one says anything.
Yeah. I don't know. Because in New York, I mean.
Or the rats would be all in the back of his truck.
Oh. Right? Yeah. Yeah. That could be possible.
Like you walk past the truck and there's a bunch of rats pulling a leg out from underneath the truck. Right?
Yeah, right. I know. Like, I'm thinking about the leg in the water.
Yeah, they're like sitting there dining on a hand or whatever.
I'm
not making light of this person's death.
But no, it makes you wonder. Yeah.
It took that long to discover.
Unless, some of those serial killers were just kind of loners and they'd just.
Maybe he parked his car off or his truck off where by the dump.
Yeah, right. So it's all covered up because I've smelled New Orleans in the summer, and it's like
parts of Long Island don't smell good either. So
no, I've never been to New York, but I can assume that probably.
Well, it smells pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah,
it's the first place where I saw someone peeing in the street.
Oh,
like in front of everybody.
Oh God, you were on tour?
We were on tour, and there was a hobo. I think that's the proper usage for a homeless person.
Yeah.
He had his hands on his hip.
Oh my God.
Both of his hands out on his hip and his dick out and just pissing the stream out into the streets. He was like standing like Superman peeing out of the street.
Wow.
Like, okay, I've seen everything.
And no one called the cops.
No one called the cops.
See, no one even bothers with any of that over
You're
there.
Right. It's New York. No one cares.
Yeah, they're just like, screw it.
But man,
I know.
Reagan Youth was so great.
Oh, just such an attitude, and they just good hardcore music.
A sad demise.
I know.
Someone who was in the trenches, freaking fighting for
Yeah.
I want to say democracy. Man, I'm waving flags and play the Pledge of Allegiance behind me. Little kids saying it because that's what it feels like.
Well, I can make that happen. Yeah. I know, because that was the mindset back then with the 80s punk.
Yeah.
I mean, Dead Kennedys,
Right.
all those that had
Suicidal
that anti-Reagan. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. Because that was the core of what they were. So many of them were against.
Right.
Was just that whole right-wing conservative approach.
Right.
And so, yeah, that was definitely bad deal.
That's freaking sad.
I know. I hate to bring us all down on Jackalope Tales, but maybe we can bring ourselves back up with the
What brings
kazoo.
this up?
Is it that kazoo?
Yeah, it's kind of like playing the bagpipes at someone's funeral too.
It would be kind of fun at our funerals to have a
Right, if someone
kazoo.
plays the kazoo,
Yeah.
like plays Amazing Grace.
Yeah, I'll get Courtney working on that.
Okay.
So
'Cause I'll probably
since
go
she
first.
played
So
the
if you can play the
kazoo.
kazoo at my funeral.
Yeah. Work on that, Courtney, okay? Amazing Grace.
So the kazoo also alerts us to
Ah, yeah.
one of the funniest parts of the show. The Lone Star Review, Lone Star Salute.
Salute review.
Lone Star Salute, where we talk about
Yeah.
1-star reviews
Yes.
of anything musical. Could be a song, it could be a concert, it could be an artist, it could be a film that... Yeah, it could be anything.
Mhm.
Anything music.
Yeah. Someone expresses their opinion and we just revel in it.
And I got one.
Oh.
That's funny.
Oh,
Most
good.
people probably know this.
We need an uplift. So let's hear it.
And just the title alone will make people laugh. And it's this is a review of My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas. And I have no way to tie this back into Lobotomy.
It's just a great review.
It is a horrible title of a song.
Is it like getting a lobotomy to listen to humps?
It kind of is.
Okay.
It kind of is.
My humps, pardon me.
And this was written by Anonymous, and Anonymous said, "Why this song should just hump away." So they go on to say, the lyrics are just downright dumb, especially with lines like, "And mix your milk with my Cocoa Puffs," and my hump, my lovely lady lumps. Lumps in this case refer to Fergie's butt and breasts, but they could also refer to cancerous lumps that can be found in a lady's breast, making this line even more stupid than the rest of the song's lyrics. The beat is annoying, and the so-called double entendres are not needed. The song goes on for way too long, and the album version goes on for at least 5 minutes and 27 seconds, and the single version as long as 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
Wow.
That's a long song.
That's long for a single.
And I'm pretty sure this was not played on the radio because it's so just
edgy.
my humps.
My humps.
Man.
Oh God.
Even the group themselves are sick of this song, as it was retired from being played live.
Ooh.
Right after it was recorded.
Did they try to they did put it out as a single though.
They did put it out as a single.
Oh God.
I don't know. Can you hear it at the skating rink? Is that where you hear it?
I don't know.
There's like
my humps.
My lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
And that's when you spin.
Right.
Yeah. Spin that ice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I bought that album. I'm not going to lie. And our mutual friend, Randy Brown, laughed at me when I bought it. And then I took it home and listened to it. And I was like, oh, this is the only time Randy's ever been right about anything.
Oh, no. And he's never let you live it down.
Oh, he was actually quite nice about it.
Okay.
Because guess what? I spent like $15 on a CD.
Oh, God. Oh.
So he was like, okay, you lose.
Because you're like,
he didn't even have
my
to make
humps,
fun.
I got to hear
Right,
this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's listen, the first step is admittance. So you've done step one.
I bought my humps.
Now, mine is about the presidents of the United States of America, because Reagan Youth, all that.
Okay.
What did you think of the band, the presidents of the
Hated them.
Okay. Well, now, you know what? We had a connection with the drummer of the presidents of the United States because we opened at Trees for Love Battery.
Yes.
And the drummer of Love Battery is the drummer of the presidents of the United States of America.
I did not know that.
There you go. So, see, we've had our brush with presidents. But this one is a review by Sam Jeffries.
Okay.
And the title of it, Yep, I Have to Spoil the Party. Okay. And goes on to say, sorry to rain on the parade of 10 ratings here. Because their album does have a lot of high ratings. Some people love that Peaches song.
I know.
And,
it's disgusting.
But this is one of the worst albums I've ever heard. These songs are so bad, so utterly talentless, and so irritating. I just don't understand. Some of these songs are just plain offensive. Another really bad thing is that these songs are clearly meant to be funny, but where's the joke? If playing your instruments badly is meant to be funny, then I'm not laughing. If the mind-numbingly crap lyrics are meant to be funny, then I'm still not laughing. Whoever wrote the lyrics is obsessed with bugs and little animals for some reason, which is why we get a bunch of terrible songs about insects driving buggies and fish playing guitars. Maybe I just don't understand what the presidents are getting at. But you know what? I really don't care. So
that Peaches song was played nonstop on the radio, and I hated it.
And on MTV. And I remember seeing their video because it's like the bass had 2 strings on it. The guitar had 3 strings on it.
Oh, I never saw the video, thank God.
They just love to do this little quirky kind of thing.
I don't like people who just I don't like any of it. I don't like chunky stuff like that.
You even look like you're
I know, it's
irritated.
Like Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento.
It really was almost like that kind of genre.
So don't put Dr. Demento on the radio. Don't do it. Don't play a Dr. Demento song. Don't play My Humps on the radio. Don't. I have a lot of rules.
Now, what do you think about Weird Al? Because it kind of goes along that line.
Yeah, that was my next thing. Don't put Weird Al. Don't put Weird Al. Yeah. That's like, go do joke things at your parties and whatnot.
Yeah.
And keep it off my fucking radio. And also, while we're getting along in here, like, They Might Be Giants and Cake. I don't want to hear those bands either. I know they're not really jokey, but none of that shit. Get that shit away.
That quirk shit.
Yeah. Get quirky away from me.
You want your meat and potatoes. Right. You don't want this veggie tray of music.
It's not even a veggie tray. It's like oatmeal.
Yeah. It's like
peaches.
It's like vaginal sugar worms.
Take your vaginal sugar worms and get out of here, Weird Al.
Do your yodeling somewhere else. Oh man.
We've had a sad show.
Yeah, we did.
We need a happy ending.
Yeah. And speaking of yodeling in our canyon, we are at the happy ending. Oh man.
Let's just say mental health is nothing to joke about. It really isn't.
No. It's just crazy crazy.
Yeah.
What the way that they try to treat some of that stuff back then.
And don't joke about it unless you're Dr. Rock and you're a doctor about it.
Yeah, and look for second opinions.
Oh my God, yes.
If the first opinion tells you
lobotomy,
cut something out of your skull or out of your brain.
Well, that was in the 80s. I thought lobotomies were completely,
I don't know.
Like that was not a protocol that's used anymore. That's what's so insane about that. And by the way, that really did happen. That is not a jackalope tale.
Right. And no, neither was this one. There was nothing jackalope about it.
Right. And Dr. Rock, he really wrote music and he really was a doctor.
Yeah. You don't need a lobotomy for allergies.
No.
Yeah. Get a scratch test first.
Or being lazy. Oh, your wife's not cleaning the house. What about a lobotomy? You think that'll work?
Will she still be able to clean? That's from the Rodney Dangerfield collection.
Lord. So, seriously, though, we're not making fun. Well, we're making fun of the doctors who use lobotomies as a horrible.
Yeah. And hopefully there is no practice of that anymore.
Yeah, that's what
electric shock, lobotomies, all that shit that happened back then.
There's other things, man. Yeah. Like I know that you can use essential oils and crystals. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're alienating so many groups on this
jokes
episode.
Again. No, there's actually really good protocol that you can use, medical protocol that's not essential oils.
I was going to bring some crystals out for this episode, but now I'm going to keep them hidden. Keep them hidden in my pigskin pouch.
Oh, Lord. Remember, kids, you need to clear your crystals. You need to put them under the light of a full moon or dip them in salt.
Crystals are only good for Sleestack on the Land of the Lost.
See, that's where we learned about crystals.
Yeah.
And their healing properties.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not our fault that we can't take mental health seriously. We're a product of our environment.
Yeah.
And our parents not letting us have porn magazines on our own.
Right. Or letting us go to Penthouse before Playboy.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Or
bad.
telling us that apes
that apes jacked up the Statue of Liberty,
which I found out was a jackalope tale in 4th grade.
Yep. No, I'm telling you, it was the kangaroos from Australia that beat the shit out of the statue.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
everyone,
man.
Thank you so much for listening. And please follow the links in our show notes and follow us on all the socials.
Yes, always come to us for the great information. Like, subscribe, rate, leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube videos. You want to see us talking about all this stuff live or not live, but
if you want to write into us and tell us about this fucked up things you've told your kids and made them believe, that would be great, and share it.
Yes, we will share, and we will give your name.
Yes, or things that your parents told you. We will share these things because we love these stories.
Oh yeah, these are great. But yeah, so.
But until next time, we'll see you next time. And let's edit that out.
I think no, we're keeping.
Let's
that
edit
in.
that.
Yeah.
And join us next time as we question.
You need to serve some crystals.
Join us next time as we question. Is it essential oils that are good for us, or crystals, or is that just a jackalope tale? And you're welcome.
Peace.
Is it the weirdest one? That was fucked up, right? Lobotomies, for fuck's sake.